I'm going to show you how you can turn this into this.
Hey, okay, so today in Sordid Sparrow, I'm gonna take a bunch of old candles and melt them down in a candle warmer, an old candle warmer, in a used up jar that used to be like a Yankee Candle or American Craft, cheap brand. I'm gonna put them in my candle warmer and I'm gonna turn it on and we're gonna watch them melt, and then we're gonna make pinecone fire starters. We'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so you can use any shape pinecone that you want. The best kind to use are the ones that are older and a little dried out, and definitely the ones that are opened up. As they get older and dried out, these little things, I don't know what you call these, they kind of open up. And those are the best because they're the most dried out. And you can, the wax will get down in there and then they will burn easier. Some of these I have wire on them from using them in centerpieces and wreaths and stuff, which is actually kind of nice. If you have any left over, you can use the wire to dip them. Otherwise, you can just use a spoon or something like that to dip them in the wax. So here we have the wax that's all melted down. I added a few more candles from the fast motion video I did. And you want to dip your pine cones in, make sure it gets good and coated, oops, and let it drip off a little bit, and then set them on some wax paper to dry. And you're going to want to dip them at least 3 times to get them coated well enough. So you have to kind of let them cool in between to build up the wax, just like when you make homemade candles. Oh, almost forgot. So when you put your old candles that you used to make the wax for this, the little wicks are going to be caught down in the candle warmer that you're using. So you can just fish those out, and you can use them again if you want to make your own homemade candles. Or what I've done is you can take the wick and one of your pine cones and start with a little bit at the top like this and hold it, and then kind of wrap the wick around through the pine cone like so. Then when you dunk it, you're going to have kind of like a pine cone candle. See that? So this one I don't have a wire, so I'm just going to dip it down in there. Just the first time, I'm just going to use my hands. Drain off the excess. That'll kind of stick once it dries, it'll stick the wick to the pine cone. Okay? So I'm going to do that with a couple of these. These kind of pine cone fire starters are awesome for if you go camping, or if you have a fire pit in your backyard. I've actually even used these in our fireplace in the house for wood burning fireplace. And they really do a good job. You just have to light it and stick it under the wood and it starts it up. So the longer wicks I'm using for the bigger pine cones and so on. And just kind of wrap it among the little leaves of the pine cone. I don't know what you call those. Dunk it in. And it's nice to put them on wax paper to cool. So you don't get your workspace turned into a big mess. This big giant one here was left over from my daughter's wedding. I covered the pine cones with that vintage German glass glitter. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to see what this looks like. I dump this in here. It's got a wire attached. Oh, it won't go down all the way. Might have to do it 2 different directions. Whoops. It's real drippy. This is going to make a mess if you're not careful, so try to be careful. And you don't have to do wicks on all of them. You can just dunk them in. Just as they are. Because you can, what you do is you take the match and you light one of the tips of the pine cone. I'll save that big long one. We don't need that long of a one. And I've done these pine cone fire starters in different colors. Like I had a bunch of green candles that I used to melt down, and red and white. And then I did red, white, and green for Christmas. And you can give them away as gifts in little sets. You can wrap them in pretty paper. This wax is not that hot because it's just a candle warmer. It's not like it's a burning candle, so you don't have to worry about hurting yourself. Depending on how warm your candle warmer is, I guess. Mine's not that hot. Yeah, I'll try this one. I've never used this type of pine cone before, but we'll see what happens. I'm just going to throw it in there. All right, then when there's no wire, then you got to fish it out with chopsticks or something. Or a spoon. Let me see if I can do this. I'm not getting it. There, I just forked it. It's like a pine cone marshmallow. Oop, don't let that get on the carpet. There's like little air bubbles in there. And it works pretty good. Okay, so these all have, oops, except for this one, they all have one coat. I'm gonna duck this one backwards. It also smells really good in here. Okay, so they all have one coat, and I'm gonna let them all come to where they're nice and dry, which they are already, and then I'm gonna start putting the next layer of wax. Dunk them again. And you can see it's starting to look more waxy coated. So this is the second coat. Gotta keep track of where I'm at here. You don't have to dunk it in very long, because if you dunk it too long, it'll melt the wax off that you already have. Another thing I like to do is, for some of the bigger pine cones, is take a muffin liner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set my pine cone dipped in wax in here, so it looks like a little cupcake that you can light, and that also will give it a little extra burning power. Like so. And the wax is dripping down into the bottom, and it's going to stick to the paper once it's cooled. There. These make it extra nice for gifting to people. So you can tell that the ones that are dipped enough are more like opaque. Here, I'll show you the difference. See, this one's darker. This one's kind of more opaque on the little petals. Okay, so here we have the finished pine cones that I dipped today, your pine cone fire starters, some different shapes and sizes. And then also I've included some of the ones I did previously that were in color specific wax. So the ones I did here on my video were a mixture of different colored wax, white, red, and gold. So it's kind of a pine cone brown color. These were red wax primarily. These ones were white wax. And then I put some glitter on there to make them a little more festive. And here's some green, primarily green wax. You can see the glitter on these pretty easily. And I've given these away as gifts. You can give them away in little sets as little housewarming gifts, or if you get invited to someone's house, you know, they have a wood-burning fireplace or a fire pit, or they like to go camping. They make nice little fun little tokens to give as your appreciation. I hope you enjoyed the video on learning how to make homemade pine cone and wax fire starters. It's a great way to recycle your old candles, and they smell really good and they serve a purpose. So thanks for watching. Be sure to make comments below and like and subscribe and share, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.